Another issue I would like to probably touch on in this particular video would have to be the school shootings issues, that started. There's even reports from the late 1970s, I think. 76 was about the first one I read about. It once again fits the same category as what happened to Phoebe Prince or Megan Meyer. It definitely, goes with the constant bullying, tormenting, and hatred that was fueled toward these kids. Like, for instance, in the case of Columbine High School, Dylan Klebold and Eric Harris. Prime example. These guys, I'm not saying they weren't troubled, because that would be bullshit. They definitely were troubled. And the thing is that there was a lot more to it than what the media had even depicted. Okay? Yes, they did depict Dylan as sort of the submissive, the more, how do you put this, he was probably the lapdog of the two, so to speak. And, Eric was he was the man with the plan, as they would say. And it was pretty much, people kept, bumping into him in the hallways and kept saying all these things about him. And next thing you know, they snap. It's just in human nature that a man pushed past his limits can be dangerous. I mean, that's probably the most real thing I've ever heard in my entire life. It is true. Okay, once you're pushed past your limits, man, it's really, really dangerous. And, comfort zones, all that stuff, once that has been breached, that's it. And am I saying what they did was right? No, I'm not saying what they did was right at all. As a matter of fact, I hope that those two are burning in hell right now. But at the same time, having been a victim of ridicule and having been an outsider most of my life, I can understand where they're coming from. Did they go the right way? No, they did not. That's the one thing I will tell you that they did not do. They did not go the correct way on that. They should have definitely taken a totally different approach. But once again, it is the same issue of the school system and the school board, the principals, the superintendents, the secretaries, the guidance counselors, everything, not listening to a word they're saying. They would tell people constantly, hey man, I'm being picked on. I'm being hurt by all these kids. And the teachers are just like, well, you gotta deal with it. And even in some cases, teachers belittle the kids. They definitely do. Teachers will belittle you as much as they possibly can. I know this, having been insulted myself numerous times. Now, I really don't care what you comment on this video, simply because, opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one, man. Be it positive feedback, negative feedback, it's all welcome. Whatever you think of it, But, okay, another prime example here of school shootings in general is the case of Michael Carneal, who is currently serving a life sentence, eligible for parole, I think, in 30 years. Michael Carneal was indeed an outsider, sort of considered the nerdy kid, and, was thought to be, just this loser, constantly picked on, constantly tormented, till one day he buys a gun, walks into his high school in Paducah, Kentucky, and opens fire on a prayer circle. Now, that could be brought into question right there, his sanity, even though he did plead not guilty by reasons of insanity, which the jury did not buy, might I mention. But, I'm not saying that Carneal wasn't disturbed, because it's obvious that he was. But it also is brought on by constant years of torment and being made fun of. That's the problem. That's the main issue. Yes, people say that counseling programs help. I'm a prime example of going through counseling programs. They have a thing in the U.S. that I like to call the RX solution, which is you can have a very, very minor, just a minor problem, and automatically they put you on like 10 million pills and like all these different medications to sort of counterbalance your moods, whereas they don't realize that it's just making you worse, and it's contributing to making you flip out and lash out, because these medications amplify that as opposed to actually helping you to calm down or helping you to think sane. Am I going to say that it doesn't work on everybody? No. Because some people it does. Some people are just fine with it. But with me, it was a totally different issue. And, one might say, okay, well, it's because this guy's crazy. It's not. You start to realize after a while that you're not really crazy at all. It's just they like to put it in your head. The therapists, the doctors, everything, they like to put it in your head that you're crazy, and you're not. I mean, sure, I'm not going to say there's not whack jobs out there, because there definitely are. There's people out there that talk to fucking plants, for God's sakes. But, whatever, man. And life in general is very mysterious. And so that's why we've got to really, really make the right choices as opposed to making the wrong ones. And I think that by listening to some of the things that I've touched on, such as the school shootings or the Phoebe Prince or Megan Meyer cases or different things like that, the different types of stories on various types of bullying and how it causes one to go insane and go crazy for that moment. I'm not saying I'm going to forgive these people for this, because certainly it's an unforgivable thing to even think about doing that to another human being. But also at the same time, you can't blame them. You got to understand where they're coming from. But once again, my thoughts, not yours. Thank you, and have a great day.